Yo, what's up, everybody? Well, you know what day it is. It's Tuesday. And what does that mean? Well, that means it's time for the hottest series in North America, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for DMJ Vroom Room's Choice of Weapon, North American Division, Season 2, Round 8. And we're in Japan today. So, it's going to be an interesting race today. We are in the city streets of Tokyo. We are on the south inner loop portion of the Tokyo racetrack here this week. And this is going to prove to be a difficult race. Now, we've seen some pretty difficult races already this season in front of the drivers, and they've handled them like absolute legends. They have just conquered those racetracks. So I don't suspect we're going to see a whole lot of problem here tonight, but we all know Tokyo. Obviously, the track is built within the city streets of Tokyo, and that means walls, 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 and more walls. So there is walls on both sides of these drivers in here, and of course, they could be penalized for making contact with those walls as they go through the race. So that's really going to change the way the race really shakes down here tonight. Now, damage is on heavy. We got a racetrack surrounded by walls. Drivers really got to be on point. Tonight, the key to tonight's race is really not going to be who's going to be the fastest around the racetrack, but who's the smoothest around the racetrack. It's going to be a lot more about technique and not overdriving your race car than it is pushing the absolute limits out of your race car here tonight to be successful. So, I do suspect the driver that we see with those driving styles are going to be successful drivers here tonight, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's just a suspicion on my part. We got Vic coming in with the thumbs up. How you doing, Vic? Much love, my dude. Heathen up into YouTube. Let's go, Apex. Hey. So, again, we're in Japan, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the Tokyo South Inner Loop. The circuit length is 6.3 kilometers, 4.9 miles long, almost 5 miles. Has 15 left and right-hand turns. It is a city-style track. It is a tarmac surface. It appears in Gran Turismo Sport in an updated version, and of course in the new release of Gran Turismo 7. We got Nolander coming in with the light as well. Much love, much love. So, again, this is presented by DMJ Vroom Room, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, you can find them on the links posted in the description there. Partners are LWR Design, DDR Racing, Fanatec, and GT Omega. So, and, oh, hey, I forgot to turn the button on tonight. We're also fundraising for MacMillan Cancer Support, so I'm going to go correct that here in a second, but there will be a donate button in just a moment, as I forgot to put it in on this broadcast here tonight, but we're just waiting for one of our drivers here, as he's just running a little bit behind here, so he should be in any minute now. And then we'll kick this thing off. Right. Moving over screens. I am not 100% with it yet today, apparently. All right, so, of course, the details of the series. So for the race today, it is a maximum racing soft tire and a minimum racing hard tire. They can use the racing medium tire as well if they choose. It is no tuning allowed. The cars are on designated settings, so a specific weight and horsepower for each of the 3 cars available in the series. The 3 cars available in the series are the Porsche 911 RSR GT3, the Peugeot RCZ GT3, and the Alfa Romeo 4C GT3. This is a GT3 series this season. Tire wear is 6 times and the fuel depletion is 4 times. So every time the drivers go around Tokyo South inner loop here today, they will be doing 6 laps per lap of fuel, tire wear, and 4 laps per lap of racing for fuel. So it's definitely going to be at least a one-stop race here today. We got LJ coming in with the big time love too, with the share. Vic coming in with the share as well. It is a grid start with a false start check. There is no boost, of course, with the GT3 cars. Again, mechanical damage is heavy, like we talked about a little bit earlier there, so drivers are really going to have to be on point here tonight. Damage is going to be crucial here around this racetrack for time as well. Initial fuel is a full tank. The only thing that we allow the drivers to use for aids are a traction control system and the anti-lock braking system. And the grip is reduced, on-track edge is real, and overtaking system is on default. And the drivers must use the required tire for a minimum of 1 full circuit lap. So that means start to finish, ladies and gentlemen, not pit lane to pit lane. It actually does mean they need to complete 1 full circuit lap on the mandatory tire. And for tonight's race, it is the racing hard tire. So just to add a little bit more difficulty for the drivers here tonight, we're going to throw in the hard tire combination as well for Tokyo. Some of the drivers like this track, some of the drivers not so much. So it's a mixed bag of reactions when it comes down to Tokyo South Inner Loop. As you can see here, the cameramen are just cycling through the cameras, are getting ready to do their magical work that they do here on Gran Turismo Sport and bring this broadcast to us. So we're just going to go do a quick little review, make sure everything is running beautifully. We've got Aaron coming in with the thumbs up, Ian Travers coming in with the heart as well. Much love, appreciate you. We had a little spike in it there, but other than that, everything's looking pretty juicy. So, are we ready here? We're just waiting, and Badass is in. So 4 minutes, we start our qualifying here, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually on top of this here today. So, why my alerts are right? I remember why I put the alerts over there. Never mind. So how's everybody today? It's Tuesday. We got DMJ race, so you got to be doing awesome there. We get to see a really good race here. Now, Spec 1 is coming in off of 3 wins in a row here in his charge to try and get back up to the top of the standings. Now, I don't have the standings to show to you guys, unfortunately, because I don't have a hard copy. Let's go, Legend, says Paul. Much love, Paul. Appreciate you coming in with that heart on the stream as well, I'm sure, as he always does. But I can tell you right now that Sparky Boomman and GVG Jake are tied for the championship lead coming into round 8 with 188 points each. And Spec 1 is sitting just underneath them with 174 points. So Spec 1 is only 14 points back from our leaders currently, Sparky Boomman and GVG Jake. So those 3 wins have really helped them start climbing up. Now you have to remember, Spec 1 missed a race this season, and the 2 drivers ahead of him that he's chasing have not. So Spec 1 essentially is a full race worth of points down. So if Spec 1 was able to make that race, he potentially would actually be leading this championship series if everything happened the way it's happened so far leading up to round 8. So just a little bit of perspective there. So Spec 1 is chasing these 2 guys. So GVG Jake and Sparky Boomman's job tonight is to finish ahead of Spec 1, obviously, to keep that lead, to keep that points difference. So that pole position, that fastest lap is really important here as we're moving into the final stretch for the championship. This is round 8 of 10. These guys only got 3 more races left, and one of these is here tonight at Tokyo. So, I mean, it's on. It's on. It's very close in the standings. We have Ghost Viper in 4th place. I believe Badass is in 5th. And then we have who's six? Who's six? Who's six? Who's six? LJ might be up in sixth, and then we have Nolander rounding out our top 7 as well for the battle of the pond driver positions as well. And that mid pack is close too as well. That fight is not over yet either. For the top 7 spots for the chance to get a spot for the battle of the pond that'll come at the end of the season here. So this should really be a cracking race. We got 2 minutes till qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. So in 2 minutes we will kick this thing off. Hey, let's go RR. So we got Vic up in the house. He's definitely cheering for his boys, Spec 1 and Super Ninja. So RR Spec 1 and LJ Super Ninja from Rockefeller Racing in the series. And of course, Team Captain up in the house on Facebook here, cheering his boys on, showing that support. That's what it's all about. So who do you guys have for the win tonight? That's the big question. Well, leave us know. Drop a comment, whether it be YouTube or Facebook. Let us know who you have for the win tonight. We got our we'll go through the field through qualifying, so you guys can take a look at your drivers and you can make that choice. You don't have to make it right away, obviously. We're just gonna go do a little bit of checky. All right, we're good to go. 1 minute till qualifying, and then we're gonna get this thing going. So. Yeah, it really is anybody's race tonight. Good luck to all the drivers. Hey, appreciate you, Ian. Jake is looking strong. Jake is determined, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've been talking with Jake over the last couple of weeks, and Jake is actually quite shocked to start with that he's still holding, tied for the lead now in the championship standings, not winning a race this season. So Jake is... he's determined. He wants a race win, so he's very comfortable with this racetrack. He's been practicing a lot for this race over the last week, so Jake is definitely going to be a driver to look out for. But again, I'm not going to count out Spec 1, Ghost Viper. Nolander's been looking good. ATV's been looking good. We're not going to count out any of those drivers either. Again, this is Tokyo. It really is anybody's game. Wall penalties are definitely going to come into play here. Damage is going to come into play here. Strategy is going to come into play for this race, so really it is anybody's race here today. I think we could be surprised to see who's on the podium tonight. So if Nolander's on same form as championship earlier, he's one to watch. Some serious driving from him earlier. Yes, I heard. I haven't seen yet, but congrats to Nolander on having a couple of podium finishes there in the Cayman series there today. So that was pretty fantastic. Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely got to go. We're gonna have to go watch that later so we can see the magic in action. All right, let's kick it. We're late. My bad. Wasn't paying attention to the clock. I mean, Sparky Booman is quick. Sparky Booman is no slouch either. This is a strong field of drivers, and this really is anyone's race. I know Nolander likes these Tokyo tracks too, so Nolander is a driver to watch out for here today. I'm trying to find a guy up front. Looks like we got Badass out front here. So Badass is leading the charge on this start of qualifying here. You can see Spec's just there warming up the tires. You can see ATV's going to opt to go around Spec there. Now, I'm not sure why it's displaying all... there we go. Alright, we've been having some issues with the sport lobbies here the last little while. I think it might be good. GTRC is fresh in my mind. Yes, Brandon coming in here having some just racing a league race on this layout just this weekend here too. So has a little extra track time under his belt here. No, Spec's still in. He's still in. It's all good. It's all good. We got Ghost opting to go with the 4C here tonight too, so that's a little bit of an interesting choice of cars there. Okay. I see whatever he's got now. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. The drivers share so well here at DMJ, let me tell you. So it looks like ATB is the first out on track here. I apologize if my voice gets louder, ladies and gentlemen. Just let me know if I get louder than the game, and we'll make an adjustment. Make a little adjustment right now. I'm just trying to get some of the background noise out of the mic, as I see some background noise coming in through the mic. So. Oh, he's on track here, so he can get back in. It's still qualifying. It's all good. Yeah, he's on track, Bar. I got all 12 drivers on track. Alright, so what we're seeing here, everybody, is the drivers now going onto the soft compound of the tire. So the drivers have come in with the star tire that they're starting the race on. They've now made that pit change to get onto the soft tires. There's no restriction for qualifying in that sense. The drivers are allowed to use whatever tires they want for qualifying, and they're allowed to use as many sets of tires as they want for qualifying. Really, essentially, the idea here is to try and get the best absolute lap they can in qualifying. And right now, Superman's sitting on pole position. So Vegas pole is coming around here in P2. We got ATB P3, we got Ghost in P4, we got Badass in behind 5th, we got LJ and Badass coming into the corner at the same time here. And you see LJ just backing off a little bit, no big deal. Again, these guys are just qualifying here. They're not trying to race each other, they're not trying to ruin each other's qualifying times. LJ had a good run there. He just backed off a little bit. We got Jake and Specs. Specs on the back of Jake here. And this is going to be a battle tonight. It's definitely going to be a battle tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see where all the drivers settle in the wash here. We got Egon in that Porsche 911. Bar is also in that Porsche 911. And we know Nolander's in the Porsche 911. I mean, Nolander's just a beast in that Porsche. So, I mean, this series was designed for Nolander. He loves that Porsche. And I think he's used it all season long so far as well. So, but he's good with it. He definitely knows how to drive it. Yay! Get it, Chris. Hey, that's what we like to see. Oh, what's up, Anthony? How you doing, my guy? So we do have Superman, again, still sitting on pole. Anthony coming in with that like on the stream as well. We appreciate everybody on YouTube and Facebook. Whichever platform it is you're watching, that's why we provide it on both platforms. So you can enjoy it at the platform of your choice, at your own leisure. So Vegas Paul here you see in P2. And right now, Superman is the only driver with an actual hot lap registered. So now he's at a 2-minute flat here. And now we got some drivers starting to put in some times here. So GVGA coming across in pole, Spec coming across in P2, Badass coming across in P3. This is going to change a bunch yet. We got APB coming across in 4, Ghost Viper coming across in 5th, Superman dropping to 7th as Sparky moving up into P2 there. We got LJ in 8th, dropping to P9, Egon moving up into P7. Look at these guys jumping around. LJ down into P10 here now. So let's go through our field here. So now we've got Spec in P3 with Jake in P1. We got Sparky Boomman in P2. We had Spec in P3. I seen Spec on camera when I was on Jake for some reason there. Not sure why. We got Badass in P4. Badass hasn't had a win yet this season. He's hungry too, so we expect him to be fighting for this battle here tonight. We got ATV in P5. Huge shout out to Badass too, literally getting off work and jumping into his rig here. So he's coming in extremely cold here tonight as well. Ghost Viper in P7. We got Egon in P8. Superman in P9. We've got LJ in P10. We've got Vegas in 11th and Nolander in P12. Now, some of the drivers just haven't registered proper times yet, or they just haven't put in a hot lap yet. So this is going to change as this goes on for sure. Calm sounds best to have since I can remember, brother. Appreciate you, Heathen. Much love. How's it going, bud? It's going great, Anthony. Hope you're having a fantastic day too, my friend. Quite late night for you, or early morning, I guess now. But Jake, now, you know, Jake, Brandon in chat saying Jake's been looking strong tonight. He's a driver to look out for, and I do agree. He's been putting down some pretty incredible times here on this Tokyo track in practice. So he's going to be the driver we're suspecting to see on pole here tonight. But don't count these other drivers out behind them either. They are lightning quick as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all rounds out. We got a little bit of car adjusting going on as well. You see Sparky's in the 4C here this week. It's just going to be a difficult race here today, ladies and gentlemen. Jake coming across with an even faster lap of 155.289 is fastest lap on track, and that is, of course, held by provisional pole driver Jake. Sparky sitting in 2. We got Spec still holding down 3, but we just seen LJ come into P4 here. Ghost up into P5. Badass drop into P6 there with that lap by Ghost. ATB's in 7th, had a really great run last week in Seaside in a P5 finish, so we're looking to see him be right up there tonight as well. We got Bar 27 in 8th. He's been looking good all season. We're waiting for him to break through here too. We got Egon in P9. We all know Egon. We all love Egon. Egon's Mr. Consistent. Egon is always Mr. Consistent. He just always finishes strong. We got Vegas Paul up in the house. I apologize. Pardon me for the burp there, ladies and gentlemen. We got Superman in P11, and Superman has been on a mission this season, and I hope he's happy with this season. Nolander moving up P7, so here we go. Nolander's starting to settle in now. He's gotten out of the rhythm of that GT4 Porsche. He's gotten back into the rhythm of that GT3 Porsche. So let's see what Nolander can do. We know he can fly around Tokyo, so maybe Nolander could very well be the sleeper here tonight. Drop a like on your way in, guys. Thanks. Hey, appreciate you, Anthony. Appreciate you, my guy. We'll jump over and pin that bad boy here in a couple minutes when things settle down. So Sparky managed to bite a little bit into Jake's pole time, but not by much, only by a half a tenth. So, half a tenth. So the pace is definitely there. Spec is about 2.5 tenths behind Sparky currently. So all in the 155 category, which is fantastic. I mean, the drivers, these drivers have been showing incredible pace all season long. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one's going to shape out tonight. I'm excited for it. Anxious and excited. Tokyo is always a tough racetrack, so you get a little nervous till everything settles down in the race, and then all the drivers settle in. And once they start to settle in and get into that rhythm, that's when the racing really starts to happen here on the racetrack. So the first couple laps going to be everybody just trying to get into a rhythm, trying to settle into a position, and then the race will settle into a nice, good, action-packed, hard-fought battle here, I'm sure, all race long. And all season long, it's just been battles all throughout the pack, throughout the whole race, so I'm sure we're not going to see anything different here. We are missing 3 drivers here tonight for various reasons, so we just have 12 drivers on the grid. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's good for all drivers on the grid. Just got to finish the race up here, and you're getting pretty good points. So yeah, no matter what, even if something bad happens this race, you just got to keep going, because missing 3 drivers, you know, there's some points up for grabs there, some free points up for grabs. So. Now we did have, obviously, the ability to have reserve driver for tonight for one of the drivers missing, but we haven't placed reserve drivers in for any of our drivers all season long. And now that we're getting down to the crunch for the championship, I don't feel that it would be right to start placing reserve drivers in place for drivers at this point. It's unfortunate, obviously, if a driver can't make a race, but we can't. That's the way it's been all season long. We have drivers that are fighting from missed races at the beginning of the season, so we got to keep it on the up and up. So there is no reserve for the missing drivers here tonight, and that's why we don't see the reserve drivers in this season. We haven't been putting them in all season. It's just been the drivers got to try and make all the races, so that adds a little bit to the intrigue to the races too. So again, you know, Spec 1 is a good case of that. So he missed a race this season. He's still sitting 3rd overall in the current championship standings coming into round 8, just 14 points behind GVG Jake and Sparky Boomman, who are tied for the championship series here currently in round 8, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, GVG Jake and Sparky Boomman are tied for first place in the standings currently. Spec 1 is chasing him, so Spec 1 needs every extra point he can get here. Right now, that fastest lap is really important, but GVG Jake holding that down. Badass now in P2, and he cut a pretty good chunk into Jake's time there, so he's moved up to P2. Spec's also cut in there. He's a 3/1000th of a second ahead of Sparky Boomman in 4th place there. This is tight, folks. This is very tight qualifying here. And, Sparky's going to bounce back up into P2, so the top 6 drivers have just been bouncing around and amongst themselves as far as the qualifying goes here. So we got Jake in 1, Sparky in 2. We got 3 minutes remaining. Badass is in P3 currently. We got Spec currently in 4th. We've got LJ in 5th. This is just qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. This is just to see where the grid is, and this is already exciting. This race is going to be something else. We got Ghost Viper in 6th place here. Having an unfortunate disconnect last race, so no points for Ghost Viper, so that sent him back in the points a little bit as well. But still holding strong in the top 5. Bar 27 here looking good in P7 currently. Nolander not too far behind in P8. We're going to see some good battles here tonight. I can feel it. ATB in P9 with the Egon right there in P10. He's not too far off. We got Vegas Paul. He's just going to chill right there. He's good. He's just going to rock it the way he is right now. And Superman here rounding out our field tonight. So penalty here for Jake. So wash lap for Jake. That's really unfortunate. Hopefully it's just his out lap here. So if we're going to see anybody make the challenge now, it's going to be within these next lap and a half here. Any of the drivers that are still on a hot lap are going to be challenging for that, as the cars are now lower on fuel. So with the car being lower on fuel, that should make the car faster, especially with some fresh rubber on the top underneath the car. You see Jake coming in here right now. So he's got this timed out so he can just get a flying lap in here on fresh tires. We got Sparky in 2nd. Sparky's using Apex a little bit here for some drafts, so that should help gain a little bit of extra time here as well. So you can see different strategies by different drivers here through qualifying. Badass here, he's in P3, and a lot of these drivers just like to qualify in their own clean air and just have to focus on what they're doing. But we have Spec 1 and LJ very close together here in P4 and P5 as well. So we'll see how these guys fare out coming through here as we're just coming around. And time is for LJ P4, Spec P4. So Spec using a little bit of help from his teammate up ahead. So LJ getting a little bit of slipstream there. Yeah, this one's going to be good. Top comments, GT45, much love, Paul. Joe coming in with the like and the share. Much love, Joe. Hope you're doing well tonight. This is definitely going to be a good race, folks. I mean, look at this. These guys are absolutely on it. So we have GVG Jake sitting provisional pole with a 0.2 of a second lead over Apex Badass in 2nd. He's only 1.5 tenths ahead of Sparky Boomman in 3rd. He's only 3/100ths ahead of 4th place driver Spec 1. He's 2 tenths ahead of LJ. He's only 4 tenths ahead of Ghost. He's 3 tenths ahead of Bar. So our top 7 is only separated by like 1.1 seconds. Absolutely crazy, folks. That's what kind of race we got in store for us here tonight. Our top 7 drivers within a second apart in qualifying, and then the back of the field is very tight together as well. There's a little bit of space behind that front pack of the field, so a little bit of pace separation here, but that's Tokyo. Tokyo's just a tough racetrack. You nick a wall, you lose a little bit of speed, you lose a little bit of time. Of course, hitting the wall too hard here, you do receive a penalty as well, so you really got to be conscious of that, as penalties can definitely hurt the outcome of a race if you pick too many up throughout a race. Jake is purple, so Jake looking to secure that lap, make sure he gets that bonus point here. Ghost Viper's just chilling. He's good. He's going to sit in 6th here as long as he doesn't get bumped down, so we'll have to wait to see. We got a penalty being burned in front of Jake here as he's coming on a flyer. And I believe he's come up to Egon, so doesn't look like it slowed Jake down one bit here, so we'll see if Jake can get around Egon. Now, Egon did have the penalty there, so it's probably a chalk lap for Egon, so I do suspect we'll see Egon let Jake get by here. He's trying to. There we go. That's exactly what Egon's trying to do. He's just trying to let Jake get through there so he doesn't slow his lap time down here. It's just a really tough sector in the racetrack. So we did have the drivers really got to use their racing awareness here this week around this racetrack. You know, there's going to be potential situations where we have a blue flag situation with lead cars running and catching up to lap traffic. So the drivers are really going to have to be on point. And Spec 1 with pole position. We didn't even see it, folks. Spec 1 coming in at the last second, stealing that ever so crucial bonus point away from GVG Jake. Oh, it is on, folks. It is on. Spec 1 coming in by 8/100ths of a second. He's going to take pole on Jake, who's in P2. Sparky's going to be P3. Badass is P4. Bar is P5. LJ in P6. Ghost Viper in P7. ATB in 8. Nolander's on a lap. Nope, he's not. Egon in 10. Superman in 11. And Vegas Paul in P12. So that is going to be the start of our grid, ladies and gentlemen. And ooh, we're in for it. Oh boy, that is tight. Spec 1 again coming through with the last lap steal for pole position. We've seen that from Spec 1 3 out of 4 races in a row here now, stealing that ever so vital point. we got Paul coming out on track. So congratulations to Spec 1 for that pole position. A vital point for Spec. He knows how important these points are for him. So he's definitely going to be satisfied with the fact that he got that. But his work is not done yet here. He's still looking for a race win and fastest lap point. So here we go, folks. We're going to take a shot of the starting grid here in case we have an issue. So we are going to be on board with Spec 1 as we start this race, and this is a grid start with full start chuck, ladies and gentlemen. So the drivers got to wait for those lights to go before they can go here. You can hear them revving. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, kick them tires, light them fires. It is time to go racing. It's round 8, and we are green, and it is Spec 1 off to the early lead here. He gets a great start there. Jake very close behind in tow, so here we go. Very difficult corner 1 here, coming around on cold tires. The drivers are going to be on different tire compounds. We got 2 and 3 wide coming around corner 1. Is everybody going to survive? 3 wide. Great job in the mid-pack there, going 3 wide through the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Ghostway for the winner there, getting up into P4, folks. Woo-hoo. Beautiful. Great job by all our drivers. Everybody getting through nice and clean. It is game on. Let's go. It is time to race. Spec 1 being challenged by GVG Jake. He's going to have the inside track coming into the hairpin here. Spec 1's going to have to go deep here. You see him getting a little bit wide, making sure there's no contact. Giving Ghost Viper. Viper taking a look. You see LJ just behind too, taking a peek here. Spec 1 holding that spot. Ghost Viper's going to tuck back in behind. We got LJ getting a little bit of, you can see the sparks are going to fly tonight. Every car on this racetrack tonight will have paint scraped off of their car. So GVGJ gets the race lead from Spec 1, and he is gone. He is off. Spec 1 in P2 trying to fend off Ghost Viper, who's in P3, very close behind. In P4. Whew, what a race start, ladies and gentlemen. We got LJ Super Ninja. In P5, we have Apex Racing's badass Egon, very close behind in P6. So Egon grabbing some positions very early on in the race there, too. Seeing him catch that wall, it's going to slow him down. No Lander in P7, so he's grabbed a position off the race start. Sparky all the way down into P8 now. Potentially due to that 4C just not having the top end speed those Porsches have, but don't count that 4C out, and don't count Sparky Boomman as we see him drop as we see Superman in behind in 9th, ATB in 10th. We got Bar in 11th, and Vegas in 12th place here to start off this very first lap of this 40 minutes endurance. So ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Whew. All right, GVG Jake in the lead. He's got a gap, 1.5 seconds, and Jake is going to try and dust this pack right now. I told you this guy wants a win really bad, and he is going to try and get it here today. We see Ghost Viper now has gotten ahead of Spec 1. Let's see if we can go see when that happened. Coming out of the hairpin, he gets the job done. We also seen LJ take a look, but LJ not able to get it done. So Spec 1 does hold LJ off there for position, but loses P2 to Ghost Viper for moving back to P3 now. So Ghost Viper up into P2. Great job by Ghost. You see LJ right behind Spec 1, giving him a push here. Is he going to make a move, or is he going to try and help this mid pack get caught up to this front pack, as they are trying to get away a little bit here? So let's see if we see a little bit of teamwork from competitors here on track currently. You can see Badass now getting into the mix. Egon caught up in the tow as well. And here we go. LJ going on the outside of Spec 1. We got Badass going inside of Spec 1. And, oh, it is race on. You can tell these drivers are hungry tonight. Badass on the inside. Spec going to look for the cutback. No, he's just going to hold his line here. He doesn't want to lose any more positions. He's trying to hold Jake or Super Ninja off here as well now. So Badass getting P3 from Spec. Spec dropping down to P4. So here we go again. So Spec now moving up into podium positions. Great job by Badass. Badass moving up into P3 on Spec for podium position. So Spec dropping down to P4 and LJ pressing. So a little bit of an interesting play here. You can see Spec falling a little bit back to the rest of the group here. So we got Egon in P6. We got Sparky Boomman in P7. We got Nolander in P8. Those top 8 guys are not too far behind each other from 1st to 8th place. And then the rest of the pack is just behind. We got ATB now up into P9, so he's gotten the job done. Bar moving up into P10. So he's making some track. You can see him putting some pressure on ATB. And here we go. Move for P10 on ATB by Bar. On the inside track, should have no problem getting this done here. And ATB can hold this outside track though. Oh, and Superman made it. He took a look. He's going to go 3. No, he's going to back out. He thought twice about it. Great job there. ATB's going to hold a position there, as we've seen Bar backed off a little bit too there when Superman took a look. So Bar not able to get the job done. ATB holds P9. Great job by these 3 drivers. Ooh, doggy. I told you we're going to see it all race long, all the way across the field. Back up to the race lead. Ghost Viper now caught up to GVG Jake. So our leader now is 1.4 second lead has diminished to just 0.4 of a second. That means Ghost is in the slip. So let's see what Ghost has got here tonight. And these two are absolutely flying here. So on board with Ghost Viper here as he's trying to chase our race leader down, GVG Jake, and then you can see that gap is closing. You see the slipstreams pulling him right into the back end of this Porsche here. So let's see how Jake handles this. Is he going to try to make the move? He is. He's going to pull out. He's going to go looking inside. Here we go. Jake on the outside here. For position for the race lead. Ghost Viper 26 is going to get the job done. He actually gets a really good run out of that corner there, so he's going to get the job done on Jake. So, job done. Ghost Viper 26, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic move by Ghost Viper for the race lead. Let's go take another look at that from our TV cameras here. Let's go further back. We're not catching the setup there. We got to get the setup as well as the move. You can see Jake is not going to let that go easily, though. He is going to try and respond. So you can see in the slipstream, he's going to pull out here coming into this hard braking corner. Long triple apex corner here. And just gets it done, makes the car stick nice and efficiently there, and he's just, looks like he's going to pick up a track penalty there for that one curb, though. We did see a half-second track penalty on Ghost there, and he does. He picks up a half-second there, so that should allow GVG Jake to get caught right back up on the Ghost, and maybe even get this. There we go. Jake's going to take P1 back from Ghost as he's got to burn that penalty there. And going to drop down to P2. So, oh, he's going to try and get the job done on Jake on the inside here. He's going to answer back on Jake as well, so battle here, side by side. Ghost Viper 26 and Jake, but that Porsche is definitely going to have to run side by side in the drag race on this 4C, so he's going to have to tuck back in. He's going to have to set Jake back up again. Great job here by these two drivers. They're battling intensely here for P1 and P2, so game on. We see Badass and Spec just coming through the distance. LJ in P5, Spec holding a penalty there. Looks like he's just bled the rest of that penalty off, actually. So nice juicy battle developing here back in the mid-pack here for podium for 3, 4, and 5, as well as we see LJ pushing Spec, Spec trying to catch Badass, and all three of those drivers trying to catch Jake and Ghost up ahead in P1 and 2. We got Dennis Miller coming in with the thumbs up. We got Paymay coming in with the thumbs up. We got Metha coming in with the thumbs up. Much love, everybody. I see you all out there. Don't worry. We see you. Much love. Miller Time Raid. Hey, welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome, Raiders. Oop. Sorry about the bang. We appreciate all that support. Much love, Dennis. So here we go. Miller Time Gaming from Facebook Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, coming in with the big time raid. We appreciate you, my man. Sparky Boomman battling Nolander for position, so Nolander's trying to get some moves done here. Sparky in P6, he's defending against Nolander. Great job by Sparky. He's just parking that Alpha on these Apexes. Nolander not able to get around, so Nolander's got to tuck back in behind. But, again, that Porsche 911 RSR has a better run on this 4C, so Nolander should be able to get a run on him here. But Sparky's doing a great job in that 4C. He's not giving Nolander an inch. Egon just behind in 8th place here, too, as well, so it's getting spicy all over this racetrack. I don't even know where to go right now. We have battles all over the place. We got Ghost Viper in 1st place. He's a second ahead of GVG Jake, who's now in 2nd. 3rd place Badass, trying to catch up to P1 and 2, has Spec and LJ all up in his business. But as you can see, these drivers aren't really battling. I think these drivers have got a 3-way slipstream train going, and they're absolutely just cruising. And trying to catch that front pack up there. So if they continue this, if they continue to work together here with 3, 4, and 5, and you can see it already, you can already see that mid pack catching up. So 1 through 5, back within a second of each other here again, from 1 to 5th. So GVG Jake now in the race lead. So Ghost Viper's lost the lead back to Jake. So back into P2. This lead is changing positions like it's recess and kids going down the slide right now. This is absolutely insane. It's just okay, your turn, you have 1st place. No, now it's your turn, you have 1st place. Wait, it's my turn, I want to go. Okay, it's now 1st place is mine. So here we go. GVG Jake in 1st. We got Ghost in 2nd. Badass in 3rd. You can see Badass now in the toe of Ghost Viper here, and he's lost Spec 1 and LJ behind him a little bit. So Badass really benefiting from that little slipstream train and actually able to break a little bit of distance off. 9/10 of a second. So he's just got these guys on the edge of the slipstream here. Sparky Boomman's in 6th place. He's really working hard to catch up there. You can see he's got a little bit of distance on Nolander now here in P7 as well. So Sparky's doing a great job to get away from that Porsche of Nolander. But Nolander's coming off a couple of great races here earlier today as well. So a little bit of momentum from Nolander. So see what he's got. We got Egon in 8th place. We got Barr in 9th and ATB in 10th. So Barr has gotten around ATB here. ATB in P10, we got Superman here in P11, and you can see he's just behind these guys. And Vegas Paul here, he's not a fan of Tokyo racetrack, so he might be struggling a little bit here tonight, but these guys are just absolutely putting on a clinic on how you race around this racetrack today. Ghost Viper challenging Jake for the lead again. These guys are just absolutely on it. These guys, there's no love lost here anymore. It is championship time. This is the home stretch, and these guys want every point available. Get it done, Apex. Hey, Tattooed Freak up at the house over on YouTube. Let's go, says Payday. All clear. Appreciate you, Joe. Thanks, buddy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. We just got the mic really close to my mouth here today. So, Ghost Viper here in P1. We have GVG Jake here in P2. So, every once in a while you can hear my earmuff hitting it, and that's what that loud knock is. So, I do apologize. In third place here is Badass. Now, Badass has broke away from the Rockefeller Racing boys here, and he's gotten back up behind his teammate Jake. So, with that being said, it's game on here. Now, I guess, does Badass help Jake catch Ghost Viper, so he has a chance for the race lead here as well. And then we got Spec and LJ behind here in 4th and 5th place. They're just not making sure they don't lose these guys. And you can see these guys aren't battling, so all the drivers really are trying to be as smart as they can here going around the racetrack today. We also have Sparky Boomman who's just behind these drivers. Now, Spec does need to finish ahead of Sparky Boomman and GVG Jake in order to gain points on the championship leaders. And again, both those guys tied for the championship standings here coming into round 8. So it's definitely tight. It's definitely close. We got ATB and P10 here, and you can see the top 10 guys are all still quite close here. So the guys are definitely enjoying. Superman's just behind these guys as well. And Vegas Paul's just a little bit back behind. Sorry again about the knock. You guys will hear it in about 5 seconds. We got Ghost Viper in the lead. Now, Ghost Viper's starting to open a gap up here, but he can't really maintain that gap as Jake is just not letting him get away. So he's just kind of got Jake on the verge of slipstream right now. But again, that 4C doesn't have the power that the Porsche does on exit of these corners. So we're going to see that Porsche probably catch up on that Alpha a lot easier than we'd see that Alpha catch up on the 911 in this situation. These guys are on a super long run here, so we're going to see the two Porsches especially pushing each other in a sense in a slipstream in a bum drafting situation. They should catch up to Ghost Viper here relatively easy. So let's see what happens here. You see Ghost Viper's taking a mid-entry with a nice tight apex here. It's going to give him a good exit coming out. You can see him taking it nice and wide, but you see the same thing from Jake and Badass in behind. Drivers are on point here tonight, without a question of a doubt. Spec 1 here in 4th place. He's got about 1.5 seconds here off of the podium positions here currently, with LJ just behind him 5th. We've got Sparky Boomman now starting to close up these guys a little bit here in that 4C as well in 6th place. So the 4C is looking strong here at Tokyo tonight. Nolander in 7th. Egon still right there behind Nolander. Egon has not let Nolander leave his sights. Bar and ATB both catching up to both these drivers as well. So we do have ATB's carrying a bit of a penalty there, so he's got 0.3. That's not too bad. He'll be able to shed that off at a couple of corners and shouldn't lose too much time to Bar 27 up ahead of him here. And Superman's just behind these guys in P11. Superman's having a fantastic race here tonight as well, and Vegas Paul as well in P12. So all the drivers still on track and still flying here tonight, so we love to see that. That is the most important thing. And I'm sure they're white-knuckling them steering wheels. We got La Proud Father Edwards coming in with the likes as well. We appreciate you. The Proud Father Edwards. I love that. Love that. Absolutely love that. Brandon Shaw's coming in with the heart as well. We're just making sure we haven't missed anybody. We don't like to miss those reactions. We try to get to them as quick as we can. All right, so Ghost Viper in the lead. We have 13 minutes gone in the race. 27 minutes remaining. We're going to see drivers probably starting to make a pit stop within the next 5 to 10 minutes. I doubt we'll see any of the drivers stretch too much longer than that. It's appearing that most of the drivers are on a one-stop strategy here, so it's going to be interesting to see if every driver started on hards here tonight, or if there are drivers sitting on the soft tire compounds. We'll find that information out obviously when they jump into pit lane, and then we'll drop that information down with you guys with about 7-8 minutes remaining in the race, so you guys can see where everybody's at. Bar 27, you can see how close this is. We have a good battle here for 7th place. Egon taking a look on Nolander here, so Egon's finally going to make the move here. Is he going to get it done? Bar's just sitting behind waiting to see if there's an opportunity here. A little bit of tire wear on Bar's car there. You couldn't quite get the power down, so he had to just sit back behind these guys. So Egon now moving up into P7, getting the job done on Nolander. So Nolander down to P8, Bar chasing in P9. ATV just a little bit behind in P10, with Superman just in tow here as well in P11. And Vegas Paul here in 12. You can see him just burning off that juicy penalty there. And Tokyo is famous for penalties. You don't have to hit the wall hard to get a penalty here. This is track. The 4C is quick. It's definitely about 2 laps shorter on fuel. Yeah, well, we'll see how these drivers handle it here. Ian, of course, participating in the DMJ Choose Your Weapon series over in DDOT side of things over in the UK there. So Ian very familiar with the series. That they just ran this race last week, 2 weeks ago. So. What are you guys running this week, Ian? Is it Interlagos again, or are you guys on your finale this week? I think I'm confused where you guys are from your schedule. We got LJ is now moved up into P4, so Specs dropped down to P5 here, and he's got Sparky Boomman now on his tail here in P6 as well. Ooh, Sparky getting a little bit sideways coming into the corner, but you need to really utilize every millimeter of racetrack to get around that corner as quick as these guys are, and you've seen that there, and that's why you've seen Sparky come in a little sideways. It was actually to maximize the rotation in that car, to get that car around the corner as quickly as you could, and ATB is up on the back end of Egon here, so Egon has made a mistake somewhere. He's picked up a fairly sizable penalty there, so he's had hard contact with the wall there, so he may have some damage as well, so that's really unfortunate for Egon, because he was looking really good there. But Ghost Viper still holding down the race lead. Now him and Jake were swapping the lead there about every third corner for about 4 laps at the beginning of this race, but these guys have kind of settled in now, so we got Ghost in first, and Ghost is absolutely flying. He's like, nah, you know what, guys? I'm taking this one this week, so catch me if you can. So that's the mentality Ghost is sitting on right now with 24 minutes remaining. And GVG Jake in second and Badass in third. Now, these guys aren't battling. They're trying to catch Ghost Viper up into P1. So we got LJ Super Ninja, Spec 1, and Sparky Boomman 4th, 5th, and 6th here as well. And these guys aren't really battling too much either. You can see they're just trying not to lose touch with that pack up in front. Got Nolander here in P7, and he has got Bar all up in his business. Bar making some contact with the wall there, so scratching up the paint. We got ATB in 9th and Superman up into 10th. So we have Egon's going to be the first of our drivers to make a pit stop here, and I'm assuming that might be a little bit influenced by damage. And then Vegas Paul here rounding out in 12th. So far, everybody's on the lead lap, I believe. And yeah, it's just game on here, ladies and gentlemen. So it's just absolutely been a crazy race for sure, without a question of a doubt. Ghost Viper in first place, and again, these guys were just battling so heavy. But now we're in the mid part of the race, and this is typically when we see our drivers settle down. This is when we see them settle into the race. The drivers are now on worn out tires a little bit here. The fuel tanks are getting empty. They're thinking about when they're going to make their pit stops. Should I make it when the leader pits? Should I go another lap? Should I try an undercut? All these things are going through the drivers' minds now. Now again, all the drivers do come in with strategies obviously in mind. They have an idea, but race situations tend to change strategies a lot of the times in racing, especially endurance racing. And although it's been a very good, clean, efficient race here so far, it still might change some of the strategies that maybe some of these drivers had in their mind when they first came into the race. So currently right now, Ghost Viper's holding fastest lap on track with a 157.325 as well. So again, valuable points up for grab with that fastest lap and pole positions here. There's only 2 more with this race and next week's race are available for pole position points, as of course the finale is reverse grid, so there is no pole position in our race finale. So it's just fastest lap points for that. So there's only 1 more race where pole position points do come into play for these drivers, and we've seen Spec 1 take them points home today, so pretty valuable points for Spec 1. Super Ninja in 4th place. You can see Sparky's gotten around Spec now. I think Spec has gone into pit lane. And Spec has gone into pit lane. And looking like he did a really great job at saving fuel there. He definitely had a lot more fuel than the driver that pit ahead of him there in Egon. So Spec 1 playing a little bit of strategy here. He's going for the undercut. So let's see how that works out. Now the undercut works good because you're going to get a lap in clean air ideally. As long as you come out of pit lane, not in traffic, that is. And you're going to be on fresh rubber with a, you know, if you don't have to fill the tank up, you're going to be on a bit of a later race car, which will also wear the tires down a little bit slower as well. So if it turns out that he has more fuel than any other driver that comes into pit lane, that's time on track. That's time on track for him. However, with that being said, that means he's going to be on 1 or 2 lap older tires at the end of the race when everything comes down to the wire. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out for Spec 1 as he's looking for an undercut here. And I do suspect we're going to see a lot of these drivers starting to come in here very, very soon. We're not staying on the drivers in their pit stops here because we don't want to see what tires that the drivers are actually going on. it's just fair play. We believe in fair play here at GT45 Gaming, so we only show that information near the end of the races here. Of course, moving into next season, we'll have a fancy little doodad that'll block that, and it'll just be on at all times, and then we can just draw off it when we feel like it, but we don't have that this season, but we will next. So we do see Ghost coming in, so GVG Jake and Badass opt to stay out another lap. LJ also opts to stay out another lap. So Sparky and Ghost Viper coming in for tires and fuel. Both drivers with less fuel than Spec 1. We also have Bar 27 coming into pit lane for fuel and tires. Every driver significantly less fuel than Spec 1 so far. So this could be good news for Spec 1, is again, he went for a big undercut strategy there, so we'll see how that works out. So GVG Jake and Badass going on the overcut strategy, and we'll see how this works out for them now. So we're going to have drivers on different age tires as we get to the end of the race. It's going to be very interesting to see how that makes at the end of the race here now. So Jake in the lead again, Badass sitting in second place. We have LJ sitting in P3. We've got Nolander sitting in P4 with ATB chasing in P5. We got Ghost Viper in P6. Spec 1 in P7. We got Sparky in P8. We've got Bar in P9. We've got Egon sitting in P10, rounding out our top 10 here today. Superman in P11 and Paul in P12. Flashing them lights. We love you, Paul. We love you, brother. It's like he knew I was watching him or something. Commentator sense. Flash the lights. Say hello to the fans. All right, so Jake is Jake's on a mission. He hasn't gotten a race win yet this season, so he's definitely hungry to get on the top of the podium here. So is tonight the night for GVG Jake is the big question. Badass much of the same. He hasn't gotten a race win yet here this season either, so he's looking for a race win here this season as well. Does he have what it takes here tonight? LJ does have a race win here under his belt earlier in the season here, so he definitely has one under his belt, but he has definitely been chasing that podium for the last couple of weeks here, so he's going to be looking to get at least onto the steps here tonight as well. Nolander in P4, and there we go. All three drivers going into pit lane. I suspect Nolander's going to have to pit here as well, and ATB, so we'll just stick with these guys here as they're coming in. Yeah, they're going to be taking this, so they're coming into pit lane as well. You can tell when they set that corner up. So we got Nolander and ATB also coming into pit lane, so we got to move to Ghost Viper now, as Ghost Viper should retain the race lead here. We'll see what happens when he comes around the track. Now he has 4 seconds on Spec 1. So Ghost Viper is coming around right now. He is going to retain the race lead. GVG Jake comes out in P2, Sparky in P3, and Spec is right there in P4. So Sparky making a move on Spec out of the corner for position. That was battle for position on the racetrack. That wasn't a driver coming out of pit lane at all there. And then we have LJ coming out in P5 with Badass in P6 right behind him. Bar coming out in P7. So ATV's down to P8. Egon up into P9. Nolander comes out in P10. Superman's in P11 here, and not too far behind Nolander there, and Vegas Paul not too far behind Superman there. So again, all drivers still on the lead lap here. Fantastic driving by the drivers here today. We haven't seen blue flag situation yet today, so perfect. We love that. We love to see all the drivers on the lead lap. That means the pace is there on all our field tonight. That means the guys are putting in the work, and it shows. As there's been some fantastic racing, but Ghost Viper with about a 1.3 second lead on Jake, who's now ahead of Sparky in P3, Spec 1 chasing in P4, and of course LJ Super Ninja and Badass in tow here in P4 and P5. So our first to sixth place here is only separated by a total of 4.8 seconds. So we're going to definitely see these gaps close up here before this race is over tonight. That I will promise, as that's just been the way it's been all season long here at Choose Your Weapon, Choice of Weapons, sorry. Egon in P8. And ATV here in P9. We forgot to set the button up. Just bear with me 1 second, Chad. I gotta flip over to Facebook here real quick. And we gotta do something. Post details. Edits. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we do support MacMillan Cancer Support during these broadcasts here at DMJ Vroom Room, whether it be over in the UK or over here in North America. We support MacMillan Cancer Support. We love what they do. They provide great services for families over the United Kingdom dealing with cancer-related illnesses, recovery processes, treatments, travel costs, all these things. So if you have already donated to MacMillan Cancer Support, we love you for it. We appreciate you for it. Thank you so much for your donation from the bottom of our hearts. And if you plan on donating in the future, or even now with that button now being in place on the stream on Facebook, we absolutely appreciate you and love you for it as well. And if you're not able to donate, we totally understand. Just being here, watching a race, hanging out with us, cheering for your favorite drivers, and showing that support is just as good, ladies and gentlemen. So we do appreciate everybody. And huge shout out to MacMillan Cancer Support for what they do over there. They can do what they can do because of communities like us and people like you who continue to provide funding for these guys to continue to do what they do. So you guys are absolute legends and the driving force behind all these organizations out there that just try to provide extra services to families that need it. So give yourselves a big round of applause too, because you're the driving force behind everything that happens. Absolutely everything. GVG Jake in P1, Ghost Viper in P2. So Jake's gotten around. Let's take a look, see if we can catch that. We are too late. So he got around him, I'm assuming, in the hairpin sector. So GVG Jake now in the race leads. He doesn't have the toe broken yet, but he's working on it. Ghost Viper's losing that toe ever so quickly here. 1 second right now, so Ghost Viper's just on the edge of the slipstream here. But he does have Sparky Boomman chasing now here in P3, starting to gain. So Sparky here gaining on Ghost Viper in P3. We see LJ up into P4 here, and he's trying to gain on Sparky. So 1.2 seconds from 3rd to 4th place. Spec 1 is just about 0.5 of a second behind LJ, and you see Badass right on Spec 1 here. So we got a juicy little battle here. So let's jump on board with Badass as he's on the back of this battle. Let's take a look at what it looks like from Badass's point of view here. So again, all the drivers parking their cars on the apex to make sure that the driver behind can't get their nose in there and make room for themselves to get a pass done or a move made. So the racing awareness on these drivers is absolutely incredible. But so that they're trying to find a way around, but trying not to lose any time behind, all at the same time, but also trying to catch the pack up front. So this is kind of what it looks like in traffic here in 6th place on Apex Racing's Badass. And he is chasing LJ Super Ninja in Spec 1 here currently. And of course, Sparky Boomman in 3rd, Ghost Viper in 2nd, and GVG Jake in 1st place overall here. So the race is definitely on here tonight. And Badass, these guys aren't really smart racing. These guys aren't battling. You know, it's very smart racing. You know, last week's race at Seaside, 2nd and 3rd place feel like that they may have possibly cost themselves a chance for 1st place due to the battling near the end of the race. And they may have been right in that situation. So you see them taking a much different approach here. But you see Sparky, Sparky ain't messing around. He's like, no, I'm going to take P2. Ghost, thank you very much. So Sparky Boomman taking P2. Ghost Viper dropping to P3. So we're going to mark that. We're going to go take another look at that. That was a great job by Sparky there. Just got into the toe there, just got that slingshot engaged, and actually made the move on the outside here too, ladies and gentlemen. So great job by Sparky there. Getting the job done on Ghost before he even had to worry about making it into the corner. He got the job done before corner entry there. So a really decisive, good move by Sparky Boomman there to take P2 away from Ghost Viper 26. So GG Jake now 2.4 seconds up the road, and this is what Jake needed. He needed these guys to be battling behind him so he can break away, and he's starting to break away from these guys. So let's see what happens. Sparky Boomman in P2. Ghost Viper in P3. We got LJ in P4. We got Spec in P5. We got Badass in P6. We got Bar in P7. We've got ATB up into P8 here. Now Egon in 9th. Superman is now rounding on our top 10. Nolander's down into P11. And Vegas Paul in P12 here. Look at him. He's always flashing them headlights. It's like he knows when I'm looking at him or something. There's a delay on the stream. There's no way he knows I'm doing it live. GVG Jake in 1st place here. He's just guessing, I bet. He knows I rotate through the field a lot. That's what I'm guessing. And, you know, we haven't done an onboard lap with our race leader yet. So let's jump on board with Jake. He's coming across the start-finish line right now. It's the perfect time to do our onboard with our race leader. So I'm just going to turn my audio off for a minute and let you guys enjoy this onboard with our current race leader, GVG Jake. What a great lap there by our current, well, tied for the championship points lead, GVG Jake, and our returning champion from last season. So Jake looking back in championship form here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a 2.1 second lead on Sparky Boomman behind here in P2. Sparky's opened up a bit of a lead on Ghost Viper in P3, who we just see getting passed by LJ. So let's go take a look here. LJ's in the slipstream here, and he comes around the corner, and I'm assuming he probably just had a better run than Ghost Viper here, and that is the case. He gets a good run out of the corner, slingshot engaged, and job done. So great job there by LJ to get the job done on Ghost Viper 26 for P3. So Ghost Viper still right there. He's right just behind LJ there in P4, but now he's got Spec 1 and Apex Racing's Badass trying to challenge here. So Ghost in 4th, we got Badass in 5th here, we got Spec 1 in 6th, we've got Bar in 7th, he's having a great race here tonight, we got ATB up in 8th, he's having a good race, Egon in 9th, Mr. Consistent in Superman here in the top 10, we got Nolander in P11, and Vegas in P12 here. Vegas still on that lead lap, but I think he's got the leader starting to bear down on him here a little bit. 8 minutes remaining, so we may see Vegas Pole get caught up here by the lead lap traffic. So we'll have to see what happens. But Jake has a commanding race lead here. It's 2.4 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So I mean, he's definitely flying right now and looking really solid. So he's got 8 minutes to maintain here, and he's got Sparky trying to hunt him down. Sparky's no slouch, so I mean 2.4 seconds, but we'll see. We'll have to see if these guys can hold it down here. We got LJ in 3rd place, Badass in 4th with our Spec 1 in tow. So Spec 1 not looking like he's going to get the 4-peat here tonight, but 8 minutes, a lot can happen here in Tokyo yet. So let's not discount that just yet, ladies and gentlemen, as he did say this isn't one of his strongest tracks, though, so he doesn't like this track too much, and doesn't feel 100% comfortable with it like he has the last few tracks he's been on. So it does play in a little bit when a driver's coming in feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the racetrack. Sometimes they just take it a little more cautiously and awareness, and just make sure they get the car around nice and safe. And I'm the same way much on these Tokyo racetracks. They're not my best tracks either, so typically I opt to get around safely as opposed to quickly in my situation as well. So it might be much of the same here, or he could just be playing coy. I mean, we don't really know. We don't know. Let's go find some battle zone. Let's go find some fight. I don't think we're going to see a lot of fighting up front here until near the end of the race. Be interesting to see how that works out here between Spec and Badass. We got Ghost just behind, dropped down to P6 there. Bars in P7, ATB in P8. So we got some separation in the field here now. The drivers are starting to pace out a little bit. So it's definitely looking like we're going to be seeing the battles somewhere near the front of the pack here. It's just a matter of where and when at this point. We do have Sparky. He's not really gaining on Jake. Jake's actually opening that gap a little bit. He is maintaining that gap on LJ, however. LJ's not really able to gain on Sparky here either, but Badass is starting to close up on LJ a little bit here. So by doing that, of course, he's pulling Spec 1 in tow with him here as well, but he actually got a really good run through there and lost Spec a little bit. So just getting Spec out of the tow there as well. So Spec in 5th place here, and Badass catching up to what appears to be LJ here. So we'll have to see if this can go down here. He's got 5 minutes, so he's got about 3 or 4 more laps here to get the job done to try and grab more position here. And that is podium battle there as well. So we're just going to get through our field here really quick. We're going to take a peek at all the drivers on track, see where everybody's at, and see how we all doing. And everybody's still on track, so we're not having, the cars are in tip-top running shape today. That's fantastic. The crews aren't having to do emergency repairs on any of the cars here today. We're not having any mechanical malfunctions here tonight. So the pit crews have been working hard, and they've got these cars in absolute tip-top shape here. And Jake is cruising, so coming through the big long tunnel here at Tokyo South, and inner loop that is, not outer. We're at the inner loop here, so the smaller of the two. Sparky in 2nd, and again, both those drivers just maintaining that gap. LJ doing much of the same right now with Badass. He's not letting Badass get into that slip, but Badass has definitely opened up a gap on Spec. So Spec has 2.8 seconds on Ghost. We may not see a battle here. It's going to be interesting. Tokyo has finally separated these drivers up a little bit here. So 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, so we're going to see 2 more laps out of these guys here, basically. And that's going to be all she wrote for round 8 here again, but we do have podium interviews afterwards, so don't run away, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely, just because the race is over doesn't mean that all the fun is over yet. We get to talk to our top 3 drivers here. They get to tell us how the race went for them. We get yeah, a little Q&A session. It's really fun. And yeah, the drivers really enjoy it too, I think, so... Sparky here, he's trying so hard to catch Jake. LJ's trying so hard to catch Sparky. Badass is trying super hard to catch LJ. And Spec 1 is just trying to catch Badass here. But Badass keeps opening that gap. I think Spec 1 is pretty happy with what he's sitting here. Maybe he's doing a little bit of fuel saving. Maybe he misjudged some fuel. A number of reasons could be happening why some of the drivers are starting to fall off their paces. Of course, the tires are obviously starting to wear out, so that's a big thing. We did see Spec 1 go for the big undercut strategy, so... with the undercut strategy does come, of course, older tires at the end of the race, and he's probably on the older softs out of the whole group here, so... And we did promise you guys some racing information, didn't we? So let's get that to you here. I know it's not 8 minutes left, but at least we can get you a little bit of intel what's going down here. So we do have our leader here, who's looking really strong here. He's in charge. And just trying to run down that checkered flag here now. We got Sparky Boomman doing everything he can to chase the leader, but Jake is just continuously gaining time on Sparky Boomman here in second place. Both these drivers tied for the championship's lead as well. GVG Jake also holding fastest lap on the racetrack here currently. We have LJ Super Ninja here in P3. And looking to get back onto his podium here tonight too. Badass chasing that podium position down. He is fighting to try and catch LJ up ahead of him here. Spec 1 in P5. Really just trying to fend off and keep the damage to a minimal here. We got Ghost Viper coming in here, so I think he might not have the fuel to make the end of the race. So that's unfortunate for Ghost, I think. That's really unfortunate. It looked like he might have had enough there, but he doesn't seem to think so. So Ghost Viper looking like he's coming in for a quick splash and dash there. So that's going to definitely cost Ghost some position there. So really unfortunate for Ghost. And, I mean, that's just the way it goes in racing, though. Sometimes you make a miscalculation, or sometimes you battle a little too much, and you use up a little more fuel than you anticipated, and sometimes it bites you at the end of the race. And I guess in this case here tonight, that's what we're seeing here with Ghost Viper. Had a good solid 6th place finish there, and he had to come into pit lane, so that's going to definitely lose him some positions. So GVG Jake here with our race lead. Sparky Boomman in P2, LJ in P3. We got Badass in P4. I got Mr. Spec 1 in P5 here. We got Bar in 6th place. We got ATV in 7th. Egon in 8th. Apex Superman up into P9 now. Nolander moving up into P10. And, oh, Ghost Viper maybe having an issue here. We don't see any fuel going in. He may have had to step away. So, here we go. We got Jake just catching up to Vegas Paul right at the end of the race here. And, yep, this is going to be just put down a lap down right at the end of the race here. You see Jake getting by there. Paul just moving out of the way. Great job there by both the drivers. And Paul just going a lap down here right at the end of the race. 30 seconds remaining. So, I mean, this is our final lap here, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think any of these drivers are getting another lap. So let's go see what's going on here. We got Badass and LJ battling for position. So we do have a battle for P3 here. And, oh, Badass gets it done. LJ's not done here. He tried to fight back here. So we're near the end of the lap here. We do got to get on board with our race leaders. He's coming around here. Oh, and he looks like he's just going to squeak that lap in. Whoa, nope. Wow, Jake is going to get the victory lap. So we do have Sparky Boomman finishing P2. We've got Badass just getting P3 on LJ right at the end. LJ finishing P4. We got Spec 1 He's coming around P5. We got Barr, who's now going to take P6 since Ghost had to come into pit lane there. Really unfortunate for Ghost. Hope everything's okay there. As you see him just pulling into pit lane at the end of the race here. Got Barr sitting in P6 with ATB in P7 just behind. We got Egon coming around, Mr. Consistent, coming in P8 here. It's either 6th, 7th, or 8th, this guy, no matter what it seems like. It's just the way it is. He's just Mr. Consistent. He does have Superman putting some pressure on him here, though. Superman's trying to get that position. Superman really putting a push on here, but Egon's going to get 8th place. Great job by Superman there in 9th. And really pushing to grab an extra position right at the end of the race. Nolander's going to come across here in the P10. He's going to round out that top 10 here tonight. We got Paul coming in P11, and we're going to have Ghostwiper finishing P12 here. Oh, and Jake makes a mistake. We missed it. Ah, we missed it. Jake's actually going to come across the line before Paul here, so we're going to jump on board with our race winner here. It's said and done and determined. Our round 8 winner is GVG Jake, so he is the champion of round 8 here in season 2. So congratulations to Jake. He finally got himself onto that winner's podium, and it'd be interesting to see what he has to say here tonight. So. We'll see if he sticks around for the podiums or not. We suspect we'll see him for the podiums here. Oh, he's happy. Oh, he is happy. And you can tell by the reaction there. You can see Vegas Paul coming here right now, P11. He's going to do one too. He's like, fine, I'm going to join in. Hold on. I can do that too. And of course, Ghostwiper having an issue there right at the end of the race, having to pull it into pit lane. Super unfortunate for Ghostwiper here. A couple of rough races for Ghostwiper. But still, decent points. He's still going to get points, so... Great job here by all our drivers. And there we go. GVG Jake with the race win here tonight. So great job by all the drivers. I'm just going to put the mic down by my computer for a second. We're going to grab a replay, obviously. Which is a beautiful thing, having the replay. Replay is a good job, everybody. Alright, so race results, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a little screenshotty here. There we go. So GVG Jake with the race win. Sparky Boomman coming in P2. Apex Badass coming in P3. LJ just losing out on that podium right at the end of the race there in P4. Spec 1 in P5. Bar 27 in P6, ATB in P7, Egon in P8, Superman in P9, Nolander rounding out our top 10, Vegas Paul in 11th, and Ghostwiper finishing out our top 12 here tonight. So, super unfortunate race for Ghostwiper there right at the end of the race in 6th place. Going to come out with 12 place points here today, but, you know, sometimes that's the way it goes, so hopefully everything's okay. We love you, Ghosty. And round 9 is a whole new round, so... Round 9, we head to Interlagos. We go into Interlagos next week, ladies and gentlemen. So, we all know that's going to be a fun race. Interlagos is always a fun race. Fastest lap also, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, belonging to GVG Jake with a 155.777. 777 lucky? Maybe. So hopefully everything's okay on Ghost's end there. But again, he will get 12 place points here today. So great stuff there for Ghost. So we're just going to change the lobby settings, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to kick you over to the podium interview screen here for a minute. Nicholas coming in with the thumbs up. How you doing, my guy? How's everybody doing today? Great job, guys. Yo, from Southern Saskatchewan. Yeah, I remember my man. Great comms, mate. Great race. Nice, easy lap for Jake to finish. That one lap he makes a mistake on was the freebie, at least. Perfect time to make it. Alright, guys, we're going to flip you over screens for a minute. I'm going to jump in with the drivers, so don't turn away. We'll be right back.
Cats and dogs.
I don't think that's key to success at all, but well, it was going great for the first 99% of the first stint until I ran out of fuel on the back straight there going into the pits. I lost about 2 seconds there. Probably could have been second in this race, but it was a good race though and fun.
Absolutely, and I mean you've just been chasing that podium for the last couple of weeks. There, you just been falling short, just getting on, just getting on. So how are you feeling coming into round 9 at Interlagos, and of course Kyoto in the finale here in the next couple of weeks? Are these tracks you're fairly strong with? How are you feeling about the upcoming tracks?
I like Interlagos. It's a fun track. I'm gonna have to put in lots and lots of practice this week because I need another podium. Because I got to catch Spec. He's still 3 points clear of me after this race, so I got to work hard if I want to get a third or a second place again this season.
Absolutely. Of course, the standings are very tight between the top 6 drivers here. So a little bit of point separation here and there, but definitely nothing that any one of these drivers definitely can't make up. So you needed to finish ahead of Spec definitely to gain on points there. You needed to finish ahead of Ghost a little bit. Of course, Ghost having some form of an issue right at the end of the race there, which is unfortunate. So you definitely gained some positions on Ghost. So I guess now for you the focus is third place driver ahead, Spec 1. But how did the race feel for you today? Everybody was looking real sharp out there. So you guys obviously definitely did your testing and your tuning before the race this week. So how did it feel out there? How do you feel everybody handled the track today?
Great. There was a few penalties. I know a few people were a little frustrated with a couple of the penalties, but everyone got through it. It seemed like a great race. The top 6 was an unbelievable battle like it is usually every week. We're all nose to tail the whole time. It's absolutely great.
Absolutely, and I definitely know that the guys were working hard throughout the week. There was several practice lobbies up, and some of you guys jumping in lobbies with each other, trying to work out strategies, and obviously find the fastest lap around the track. And it was definitely competitive out there. Qualifying was absolutely intense. You guys were swapping those qualifying positions around like it was popcorn popping in a popcorn machine. So it was really hard to say who was going to take that pole position in qualifying. But you had a good race start. It was a nice, clean race start, and you just had a good, calm, steady race. It seemed like you didn't seem like you panicked too much. And what I did notice today was it was working together with the guy in front to try and catch the next guy in front. Now, was that just because the other driver in front just had similar pace, or was it a little bit of strategy to try and gain on the next driver so you could maybe grab two positions?
Well, that's what it was. Like every time it was either me or someone ahead trying like at a slipstream from the person ahead. So we were all working together, me, Spec, LJ, and Jake for a little bit, but he's just too fast. I can't keep up with him, so can't really. It's hard to touch his butt in this, what you want to call it. He's
Absolutely.
just so fast. His exits, I can't catch him on the straight. He's just, yeah.
Well, and you know, he was. We all know that Jake's been grinding his teeth a little bit because he hasn't been on the top of that podium yet. So I mean, hats off to Jake. You put in a lot of work for this race, and he got the good result for it as well. But practice makes perfect. Back on the podium, good points, and of course, just making that championship standings a little bit tighter as we move down to the final two races of the season here. So how do you feel? You think you can get that third spot?
Possibly.
Awesome.
I don't know. Spec is on another level than me, so
That's what we like
I
to
don't
hear.
know.
That's what we like to hear. Spec One had a tough race today, though. Obviously, he wasn't very comfortable with this particular track here today. So,
And he
again,
knew that.
you gained some good points there. So just try to take that momentum into round 9, moving into Interlagos, and then you never know what'll happen. Maybe you'll be standing at the top of the podium next week.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, I know you've been grinding for that win too, so we may see it out of badass next week, ladies and gentlemen. You just never know with this field who's going to win these races. We can predict all day long, but it really is up to the day of the race to see who wins. So, huge congratulations, man! Great race, great to see you back on the podium. Always love talking to you, and
Thank
shoutouts.
you. You, of course, DMJ Vroom Vroom, and the sponsors, Fanatec and GT Omega. Um, of course, Apex Racing, my boys, all of them, all 15 of us, all awesome guys. Um, Spec and LJ for having such a good race tonight, and all the rest of them just great racing guys.
Absolutely, and it really was, and well said as always. And you definitely had Heathen and Tattooed up in the chat cheering you guys on tonight, so I'm sure they're going to be quite pleased to see two of the drivers on the podium here tonight. All right, so we are congratulations, badass as well. Appreciate taking the
Thank
time to
you.
talk with us here after the race.
Thank you.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking to this man a lot this season. Sparky Boomman coming in with a very strong P2 here tonight, and coming in P2 with that Alpha 4C in amongst a pretty large field of Porsche 911s here today. So great job on bringing a different car on the podium here tonight to start with, and you look pretty good in that 4C. How did it feel out on the track today?
I don't like that car. It oversteers like crazy. It's very difficult after the hairpin on the long straight, but the testing that I was doing, it was hitting the highest top speed, and I need to switch into the other cars anyways if I want to get those extra 5 points at the end, which could be meaningful. So I figured now's the time to use the 4C, and so just went with it.
Well, and did very well. I mean, you just you seem to have a handle on that car. You rolled it through the corners really well. You utilized well, basically every square millimeter of the racetrack because you pretty much have to at Tokyo. As obviously it's a tough racetrack to navigate, having walls and no runoff space if you make a mistake into a corner. So you handled it very well. You had some great battles there too throughout the race. So talk us through that as you were kind of moving up through the field. You know, start race to mid race and to the end of the race. What was kind of going through your mind before pit stop?
Yeah, well, I had a decent qualifying. I think the top 5 were within like 1 or 2 tenths, so very, very close qualifying. And I just tried to get a decent run down to that first corner, I guess the second corner, the big braking zone, and I guess I overshot the braking zone a little bit and ran wide, and then everyone was sort of coming through on the inside. There was no room for me to just cut in, so I ended up dropping from third place all the way down to 8th or 9th place, and then I had to make a decision because initially I was hoping I could just sit behind Jake and Spec and just fuel save. That was the plan, but didn't work out that way. I had to battle and sort of get my way up, and I was fortunate enough that I think it was Jake and Ghost were doing a bit of fighting at the front, and that slowed them down and allowed me to sort of catch back up to that main group. But basically the entire hard stint I was trying to get around people, trying to work with them in certain parts if it was faster to just bump draft. Nolander and I were doing some bump drafting for probably 1 or 2 laps, and then Egon and I were doing some bump drafting for 1 or 2 laps, and when it was time to make the move, you make the move. And then I thought, this is not good. I need to try and undercut these guys and go into the pits early. I knew the softs were faster. I knew they could do at least 10 laps. I would just have to fuel save. So I went in early, and I did get a little bit of an undercut. I got around Badass and Super Ninja, and then I was about 2.5 seconds or so behind Jake, and that gap's not going to go down if you're fuel saving. And I had a 2.5 second gap behind me, and just tried to manage it, watch my fuel, make sure I had enough for 11 laps, because I had to do essentially 11.5 laps after you come out of the pit and you do that extra quarter or half a lap. But it worked out. The undercut worked, and I went across the line with basically no fuel, so it worked out in the end. Be aggressive. Interlagos. Yeah, Interlagos is a track that I like a lot. It's got a lot of corners. I think if you're not very good at taking corners, it shows up pretty quick. Hopefully I can get the Peugeot to go around there, because I've got to, again, switch my car to try and get those extra points. But 2 races left. There's going to be nothing easy, and I look forward to the battle.
It's definitely going to be cracking up to be a fantastic final 2 races for the season. You did have a little bit of trouble, like you said. You got wide into that first hard braking zone, but you just stayed patient. You stayed calm. You did what you do. You just you knew that you had good pace and you could drive back if you did a little bit of cooperation and made your moves when you did. And we did see some very decisive passes from you when you made that move on Ghost before you came into the hard braking zone there. Very decisive move and getting him on the outside before you even got into the corner there. So Sparky Boomman making decisions and making them quick and very decisively and making it happen. So definitely be watching out for this guy in the next 2 rounds, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be fighting for the top of that podium and try and catch GVD Jake just ahead of him in points. So again, just another massive race. And from last season, coming in as an unknown driver to the community and to the series, you've definitely proven that you have championship qualities here, and let's see if you can bring one home this season.
Cheers, thanks.
And so of course, shoutouts too, my friend.
Yeah, you for doing these broadcastings. It's part of my ritual the next day. I drink a cup of coffee and watch the broadcast. I like to see what happened. I like to hear what you're saying. I hope everybody tuning in is enjoying the races. And then obviously I want to give a shout out to DMJ Room for being the sponsors and organizing all this. It's driving in a league is just far and above, way better than any kind of lobby or any kind of sport mode. So I appreciate putting all of this together. Awesome,
and well, we appreciate the drivers giving us their time and the effort that they do week in and week out to be here and compete at the level that you guys are competing at. So again, thank you as well, and always fun interviewing you. You always speak such great words in the interviews. I always enjoy interviewing you. So again, thank you for giving us your time here tonight. And if Jake hasn't fallen asleep yet, we'll go get to our race winner here. So
cheers, thanks, see ya.
All right, cheers. And alright, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. He's probably been sitting there bouncing in his seat, waiting for his turn to finally talk to us as the winner of round 8, ladies and gentlemen. Our returning season's champion from season 1, GVG Jake. Well, my man, you said you were getting it tonight, and you went and got it. And you went and got it with some pretty good authority. Now, you got a good break at the beginning of the race there. Spec 1 got out to the early lead. You found his way around, what was it, lap 3 or something there. And then you and Ghost Viper were having about a 4-lap battle where you guys were swapping that first place position about every 2 or 3 corners. So tell us a little bit about that battle and what you were thinking as that was going on.
I was wondering whether he'd started on the softs or the hards, and I let him go through the first time he caught me on the straight to see how much he'd pull away. And he got a penalty the 2 laps that I let him through, so I couldn't really tell what tyres he was on until he was right on the back of me by the end of the straight. I was trying to let him by, trying to save a bit of fuel, but when I did let him by, he was just gone. There was no chance I was gaining it back. I had to save fuel all race without a slipstream from then on, I think it was. It was hard looking at the gap back to Sparky after his incident. It was 2.2 seconds or something after I'd come out of the pits. But luckily he needed to save fuel near the end as well. So it worked out well.
And I mean, qualifying was absolutely intense tonight. The top 7 drivers separated barely by a second at the end of qualifying. It definitely looked like you had that pole position wrapped up, and then here comes Spec right at the last second, steals that pole position. What was going through your mind at that point in time?
I actually didn't realise until I'd got up to the line, because I was on a lap myself. I was about a tenth and a half up. It must have been on Spec's lap. I don't know whether it was on my lap. And I caught Egon at the end of the S's. I was like, oh no, I got past the line like a couple of thousandths past my pole time, but I got a decent start, was able to get past Spec pretty early, so all went smoothly from there. No mistakes, no penalties.
Well, I wouldn't say no mistakes. I mean, we did see a little bit of an incident in the final hairpin on your victory lap there. But I mean, if a guy's going to make a mistake in a race, that is definitely the time to do it when you're not going to lose the position.
Trying to drift around.
Oh, were you? Oh, that's what was going on. We just caught the tail end of it, so.
Yeah, I tried to pull a handbrake around the hairpin.
But I mean, you had really great pace tonight, and I know you've been working hard at this race. You told me at the end of last week that you were you like the track, you're good with the track, you feel comfortable with the track, and you told me last week at the end of the race last week that you were winning this one, and here you are, you won it. So you're definitely a man of your word. We finally get to say congratulations for the race win, Jake, this season. It is about time, my man. We have been waiting.
It's been a while.
But that also goes a good test to show at the competition in the field this season. No driver has an easy win here. They have all been in battle almost right to the final minutes, if not final seconds of the race, right to the start-finish line in some cases. Jake got into a good, comfortable position late in the race. He had a 2.5 second gap, and then opened it up just a little bit near the end of the race. So I know that you like to be up front. I know you like to control the race. So are you quite comfortable being in the lead of the race tonight?
Yeah, definitely. It's not really a track to follow. I mean, I like the bum drafty, but this track, it's a bit difficult. The straights weren't really straights. You'd get one in the first sector, maybe 2, but it was too risky to get them elsewhere.
Well, and I mean, the boys were putting on a clinic about bum drafting around Tokyo here tonight. We had a couple of times where we had 3 cars doing the old slipstream train, trying to catch you guys up front.
I saw them all in the rear view. I was like, no.
They were on point. I got to tell you, you could definitely tell that the championship is heating up, and those standings are going to be tight coming into next week, ladies and gentlemen. So the drivers are sweating. They're white-knuckling the steering wheels as we're getting down to the final stretches here. And we got to Interlagos is a technical racetrack. So keeping that in mind, how you feel about Interlagos?
I feel good about Interlagos, but I'm not entirely sure about the car I'm going to use. But whether I actually want to take the Jack of all trades points
I asked her if she would do just the chair. I don't need a new wheel. This one works. It is a. That's a 500.
Sparky Mike. We're just. Alright, well, that's good to hear. Nice little interruption by a second place driver by accident there, but no big deal. I lost my train of thought there. I'm super stoked for you. You had a really good race. You kept yourself out of trouble, like you said, no mistakes. I know in a couple of the races this season, you were just maybe trying to overdrive the car to gain that time, and tonight you came in looking like you weren't trying to overdrive the car, but just you keep it smooth and keep it nice and tight around the racetrack, and looked in real good form. Looked like you were in championship form as you're trying to look for that repeat this season.
Badass was warning me midway through the race. He was like, "You're touching that wall an awful lot coming onto the main straight." I was like, "I can't feel it." He's like, "There's so many sparks every lap."
Yeah, exactly. And of course, the wall penalties definitely probably factored into some races here tonight too. We didn't see a ton of them as we were going through our drivers throughout the broadcast, but we definitely caught a few. So wall penalties always playing a factor on Tokyo as well. But you kept it clean. You only picked up 1 or 2 penalties that I saw, and come home with a nice commanding. You got a bonus lap. You got the victory lap here tonight. So great stuff, and nice little power slide across the start finish line. We definitely enjoyed the power slide, and just congratulations are really buzzing for you. We like to see the returning champion win a race here and there too. So we're super thrilled for Jake to see him back on the top of the podium, and he's letting these guys know that this is his championship, and if they want it, they better come get it. So congratulations, man, and shout outs.
You obviously for the comms every week. Beautiful to watch back. Watch it in bed or the next morning. DMJ for putting the league together. Obviously, like Sparky said, much rather race in leagues than daily lobbies and whatnot. It's just completely different. You meet some amazing people. So yeah, all the races on track, and finally Apex Racing, my boys.
Absolutely, and I mean, congratulations to yourselves. So looking good moving into round 8. You're going to have a small cushion sitting on top of the standings moving in round 8. So what's the game plan as you come into Interlagos next week?
I need to practice a little bit between 2 cars, so need to put a couple of laps in this week. I'm not gonna go over the top and over practice myself, but yeah, get the right strategy in, we should be good.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what the DMJ and A boys are going to throw down in round 9 Interlagos. Every race this season has just been absolutely on the edge of your seat, action packed, and you just never know what's going to happen right to the start finish line. So, great job out there this season, you guys. And this championship will not be decided until round 10, and that much we can definitely guarantee you, folks. So, definitely want to stay tuned the next 2 weeks to see where our champion's going to be. And just another great race put on by DMJ, of course, GT Omega Fanatec, LWR Designs, and DDR Racing, ladies and gentlemen. So much love. Thank you to all the drivers. Congratulations again. Thank you for the time in the interviews. I know it's late for you, Jake. Appreciate you hanging out, and we'll see you all next week.
Tatty buys.
You're good to go. You're good. You're good. You're good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so it is all good. Alright, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to our track detail screen to finish off our night. So, hey everybody, it's GT45 here. How we all doing? What a great race. What a great race. Week in and week out, these North American drivers here at DMJ just produce some absolutely fantastic races here. They're super love this series, and it shows on the racetrack. We're seeing new drivers coming in and finishing very strong in the field near the end of the season. And all this means, ladies and gentlemen, is A, this championship isn't determined yet. We cannot even name a champion. We can't even come close to naming a champion yet. This is going to be determined by the end of round 10. This is not going to be somebody's clinching going into round 10. This is going down in round 10. So we're going to be crowning our podium finishers in round 10. No ifs, ands, or buts. Our top 7 is not decided yet for the Battle of the Pond in this championship either on this side of things. And that's going down to round 10. I mean, we're talking two more races, an hour and 30 minutes of action-packed fun in the next 2 weeks, and it's going to be incredible to see what these guys are going to lay down, because you know they're going to be pushing everything they got to get the best finish they can to get those extra bonus points. So, a little race recap, bonus points meaning everything to these top drivers right now. Spec 1 coming in hot tonight off 3 in a row wins, looking like he's unstoppable. Not having the best race today, but snagging those ever so important pole position points in qualifying. So, although he didn't get the best finish he was looking for today, he is going to gain a couple bonus points. It's going to keep him in the fight, sitting there in 3rd place. Badass finishing in 3rd place, just behind Spec and Ghost Viper in his points in the standings. He's going to leapfrog Ghost Viper. Ghost Viper having a rough finish to the race, going to get 12th place points, but Badass still in the conversation for podium finishing here as well. So we have top 5 guys who are going to be fighting for that podium position. We have a 3-way battle for 1st place still in this series, and we're not even. My mind's blown. It's just insane. I don't even know where to think. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's bringing what next week. And it's just been intense. It's been crazy. It's been so much fun. So, great action all night long. We've seen beautiful slipstreaming and bump drafting all throughout the race. We've seen great battles all the way throughout the race. And again, almost every driver stayed on the lead lap tonight. One driver lost the lead lap right at the end of the race. So all the drivers showing pace and improvement as the season's progressed as well, ladies and gentlemen. So, drivers have to worry about the blue flag situations here today, and that's absolutely beautiful. Makes the race a little bit easier for the drivers when they're running for these championship points, but that's the way she goes. So Interlagos is going to prove to be tricky as well. It's going to separate drivers' pace. This racetrack is very technical. It's got a lot of twists and curves, and you can take a lot of them at a fairly relatively high amount of speed, but if you don't get it right, you're going to pay the price. So Interlagos is absolutely going to put these drivers to the test next week at round 9, so make sure that we don't miss round 9, folks. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Tuesday, round 9 at Interlagos in Brasilia, beautiful Brasilia. Heading down to South America for round 9, and these guys will not disappoint. You will not be disappointed. If you miss this race, you'll be disappointed for missing the race. So that's how good it's going to be. So, I appreciate you guys. I'm the host of GT45, baby. We're here, we're chilling, we're maxing, we're bringing all the action as much as we can, as quick as we can, and as best as we can through commentary to you guys. So massive shout out to DMJ Vroom Room. Of course, they are the presenters of the series. They put this as their baby, their brainchild. Massive shout out to DMJ Vroom Room. The drivers just rave about this series, and it's just going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to be one of the hottest series in North America. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's just an awesome series. So huge again shout out to LWR Designs, DDR Racing, GT Omega Fanatech, and of course MacMillan Cancer Support. Most important, Cancer MacMillan Support. We're here supporting a cause as well. We're not just here racing and having fun. We're also here to try and raise money and help out the community as well along the way. So just a really, really great job here tonight by all our drivers. Week in and week out, I say they deserve to give themselves a round of applause, and yet again tonight they do. So we're seeing strength in a lot of drivers here, and I can't wait to see how the end of the season is going to turn out. So 6 days, folks, and we'll see round 9. Let's catch up on some comments here. We got Yo-Yo from Southern Sass. Great comms, great race, nice easy lap for Jake to finish. Cheers. Great racing by all, says Paul. Hello, says Edward. Much love, Edward. Coming in with the lake a little while ago there. Chris Reese coming in with the lake as well. Accidentally skipped fixing damage. Had to put an extra time. Oh, I had to put an extra pit in, Nolander. Oh, crushing, brother. GG, boys. GG is right. GG's, gentlemen. Mike keeps cutting it out. Oh, my bad. GG's. My birthday race. Yay! Thanks to you, Tim, DMJ, and the boys who are there on track. Much love, you guys. Hey, we appreciate you. Good job out there, my guy. So, again, when drivers don't make the races, too, it's just more incentive for the drivers that are on track to make sure they finish that race, too, ladies and gentlemen. Because, again, if you have drivers missing, you're guaranteed better points. You know, if you're a driver that typically struggles with a certain racetrack, you're already guaranteed to be better points than maybe you're going into a race anticipating too. So really great job by all the drivers on track. We're not sure what happened with Ghost Viper. He had a massive failure with his car there near the end, but still managing to get the race in. So gonna have some good points there for Ghost, and tough couple weeks for Ghost Viper. But you know what? This guy's a racer, and he'll recover, and he'll be here to show up. Come round 8, round 9, and round 10 for sure. So, where'd that go? I need that. I'll find it later. But we are going to shut the broadcast down, ladies and gentlemen. I got some stuff I got to take care of here on the real life adulting side of things. So we'll be back tomorrow night, and we're going to do some ACC on SFR public server tomorrow night. So when I go live tomorrow night, we'll be on ACC. We'll be in the server. We'll let you guys know what to search to find the server. It is open to the public. So come on in, race. There'll be 25-minute races set up with some qualifiers. And we're just going to chill in ACC and have some fun on ACC tomorrow night. So that's the plan for tomorrow night. And stay tuned for more and exciting news from DMJ Vroom Room too as well, ladies and gentlemen. You just never know what's coming. So make sure you stay tuned to the socials over at the DMJ Vroom Room website, Facebook page, DDOT community, the GT45 Gaming community. Stay tuned to those socials because you just never know what announcements coming next from DMJ Vroom Room. You know, great show tonight. And I can't wait to see what these guys bring next week. So stay winning. Peace and love, my my lovelies. You know, I love all the support. We had so many fans up in here cheering everybody on tonight, and that's what we love to see. We appreciate the support, and much love, everybody. We'll be back next week for another amazing race, and I can't wait to see it. These guys make this so much fun to broadcast when your racing is that good. So good job to the drivers again, and round 9 next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, folks. Love y'all. See you soon.